What is up, everybody? Len here, the Potter Stacker, and I am going to give you tonight, not my opinion. Everybody says, well, this is just my opinion. This isn't advice. These are facts. I am giving advice, and you need to follow it if you're going to be a successful stacker. So tonight, I am going to talk about the best and the worst silver for stacking. Stay tuned. Well, the first choice for the worst silver to stack should be pretty obvious to anyone who is paying attention, and that is the beloved American Silver Eagle. Now, I hate the American Silver Eagle so much that if I could get rid of all of it and break even tomorrow, I would. I might even be willing to take a little bit of a loss on that. Now, I don't hate this because it's a particularly horrible looking piece of silver. I mean, it's actually quite gorgeous. The Eagle and the Type 1 especially is iconic. These are gorgeous coins. However, when you're paying anywhere between 50 to 100% premium on a piece of silver, you've lost the plot. You've lost the point of silver stacking. This should be handled like the plague. Avoid it. I don't know, something about a 10-foot pole. Next on my list is the Canadian maple leaf. Now, what you see here is a bunch of Canadian maple leaves that I advanced the toning on these. And the reason is because they milk spot so terribly that the only way to fix them is with a furnace, at least anything like 2019 and older. So I have these, they have lovely toning now, but they look like garbage before. And honestly, you shouldn't have to do this kind of thing to make your silver look decent. But here's the other thing about our beloved Canadian maple leaf. They're expensive also. These have very, very high premiums on them. And so for that reason, even if they fixed the milk spotting issue, for that reason, for the reason of the premiums alone, I would say that this is bullion to avoid. Oh, it's not bullion, it's a coin. I don't care. Stay away. It really breaks my heart to say this, but American junk silver, unfortunately, this is silver that while I absolutely love it, I simply cannot recommend it because of the premiums. On a percentage basis, the only thing you can get more expensive is American Silver Eagles. And I love American coinage so much. It's good to maybe get junk silver to go through. You can buy large chunks of it, like maybe Rob finds Treasure, and maybe you can find some key dates and fill albums with it. But for stacking purposes, I hate to say it, guys, but stay away. So my next choice is basically, it's not that I don't recommend this. I'm kind of indifferent to it, to be honest. It's not a choice that I would make, and in fact, I don't have any of these in my stack, but I do have a miniature version. This is the Germania Mint Mini Kilo, 100 grams, but kilo bars to me, they don't make sense the premiums on them are fine. If you get a generic kilo bar, it's among the lowest premium silver that you can get. And for that, I can't hate it. But at the same time, if I'm going to pony up, $700 to $900, depending on where spot price sits, because usually, the premiums are very, very low. But if I'm going to spend that kind of money, guys, I'm starting to look at a half ounce of gold. That's just my personal opinion. I don't hate it. I think from a premium perspective, it makes sense. But on the other hand, if I'm going to be spending that kind of money, I'm going to the yellow metal. Another one that I'm kind of indifferent to is war nickels. I guess this could fall under the junk silver category, but as anyone knows that knows anything about this stuff, The war nickel is 35% silver. They were only minted for a few years in the 40s during World War II, and they only have 0.0562 ounces of silver. The problem with them is that you need a dump truck full of them to really add up to any kind of weight. The positive is that you can usually get them at melt. So the question is, does it make sense to basically fill a safe with war nickels and only have what amounts to a few pounds of silver? Maybe, from a premium perspective. I'm going to leave that up to you. I have some because I think they're cool and because they were cheap, but this is all I'll ever own. I will never own more than you see right here. So in the next category, I'm going to start to talk about the things that I do recommend. And what I have right here in front of you is what I would classify as semi-numismatics. In other words, it has silver content, usually 3 or 4 nines fine, but it also has a collector's value to it. So for example, these colorized superhero rounds. These are awesome, they're gorgeous, and they have excellent market value on the secondary market. Other kinds of semi-numismatics might commemorate something. There's other ones that have like a limited mintage. For example, like this Year of the Dog or this 2 Dragons. So, this 2 ounce Marvel Icon helmet, I guess. So these semi-numismatics are great for selling on the secondary market. The concern you should have is getting these and then selling them to your local coin shop. Your local coin shop, on most of these, you're probably going to be treated like you have junk silver. Or not junk silver, I'm sorry, generic silver. Let me just clarify, generic silver, not junk silver. So if you're going to get this, count on this going on eBay and count on it being probably kind of a long tail item. So long tail meaning it may take a while to sell. So it doesn't make it bad stuff. This is what I consider my deep stack. And this is stuff that I know when it comes time to sell, this is the stuff I'm probably going to be selling last. All right, so now we're getting into, these are, again, things that I would recommend to stackers. So I'm kind of going in order from the worst to the best here. And so where I'm at now is with sovereign bullion, if you want to call it that. I have some Congo apes here from 2018. So they belong to a nation, and they usually have a denominated value, which I guess makes them a coin technically. Actually, let me see here. Yeah, this one is 5,000 francs. So here's why I like these, though. And these ones, how beautiful is that Marlin? That 2020 Marlin. And again, this is $1 from the Cayman Islands. Absolutely gorgeous. And then, of course, another one I really love here is the Britannia. Why do I love these? One, they look fantastic. I think that these make the American Silver Eagle look, like the extra chromosome brother of bullion. Honestly, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing how the other mints around the world just absolutely outclass the U.S. Mint when it comes to their bullion choices or their silver choices. So here's why I love this stuff, guys, is because lower premiums. And in fact, sometimes you can find this on sale with online dealers as low as or really, really close to generics. And again, this is stuff that you can find at your LCS, oftentimes in the generic silver bin. So always check your generic silver bins if you're stacking silver, and you might find some of this stuff. And it's really good stuff to have. It's recognizable, it's attractive. And like this one has the security feature on the On the Britannia, look at that Union Jack shield. Look at the water ripples. I mean, come on. It's hard to beat that for its beauty alone. But there's better stuff than this, and I'm going to show you. Next on my list would be generic silver bullion, the old Buffalo, old reliable. A lot of us started our stacking with a Buffalo, and I toned this one up so it would be nice and pretty just for this video. Actually, I did this a long time ago. But anyhow, generic silver, low premiums, plain and simple. You're going to get a whole lot of mismatch. That doesn't belong here. You're going to get a whole lot of mismatch, different kind of stuff from the generic bin at the LCS. And honestly, just get it. Just get however much you can. Some of this you can get for $2.50 to $3.50 over spot. Well, I don't know. That might be pushing it a little bit. But when it comes to the lowest premium silver rounds that you can get, think generic. When it comes to low premiums, think bars, y'all. I got 1 ouncers here. I also have some 10 ouncers and 5 ouncers. So this is an excellent choice. It's a great way to add a lot of weight to your stack and to add it quickly. And for a very low premium. My favorite is the 5 ouncer. I love 5 ounce bars. I love them. Have I told you I love them? You know, this isn't a good example, but it's the closest thing I have to like a hand poured art bar. This thing is 8.3 ounces. I don't really include these, but because the premiums are typically high on hand poured art bars. But I think that if you want to support a fellow YouTuber, I think that's a great way to do it, and it's a cool way to add to your stack. Usually that's deep stack kind of stuff, but you're not generally going to get your premium back, especially from the LCS. But on these bad boys, these sell easy. The LCSs love to have them, and they will be happy to buy them back from you. Very, very happy. I think one of the great sleepers in stacking that few people give any regard to is the modern commemorative silver dollars. Modern commemoratives, they have incredibly low mintages. Get a red book and just look. And, you know, often under 200,000 of each. They are 90% silver. They have the same weight and silver content as a Morgan dollar, and they just have a fantastic look to them. Many of them have a military theme, or here's a Boy Scout one, for example. And they often come in, like, there's often a proof and a, I guess, a business strike or BU version for many of them. They're great. Sometimes they come up with kooky stuff like this concave baseball commemorative, and it's cool. It's cool. Now here's the other thing. You want to talk about low premiums? I mean, there's a few exceptions. There's I think the Buffalo, I think it's from like 2016 or 2014, but there's one that's basically the Buffalo nickel. That one can go for $80 to $100 depending on condition, you know, and whether it's raw or graded. There are some silver half dollars as well. This is the 250th, Washington's 250th anniversary of his birthday. But then there are also clad. Oh, here's another half dollar. That's silver, commemorative silver half dollar. But there are clad ones as well, as you can see here with this 1984 Statue of Liberty Ellis Island set. But I gotta tell you, if there is ever a day where these become just insanely popular, I mean, look at that. Give me a break. That's gorgeous. What a great looking eagle. You know, deep cameo finish. But look, if there's ever a day where demand for these goes up, their value could possibly shoot through the roof. But if it never does, you have your silver value, and honestly, a lot of LCSs are happy to give this to you for extremely low premiums, and sometimes for the less popular, you know, some that I don't have, you can get at Melt. And so look into these. Do not sleep on modern commemorative silver dollars. If you know me, you know I love Canadian junk silver. It's just hard to beat, and pound for pound, this is the cheapest way to stack silver. Pound for pound, or ounce for ounce, this is the cheapest way. I have a video that I'm going to put a card in right here that's going to tell you all about how Canadian junk silver compares to American junk silver, and it's not even close. For the same money, you can get 30 to 40% more of this, and the designs are fantastic. Now, these are 80% silver. You're looking for anything 1967 and older, and each dollar is 6/10 of an ounce of silver. 6/10 of an ounce. So it's really easy to do the math on these. You know, that means the half dollars here, these gorgeous half dollars, are, guess what? These are 3/10 of an ounce, just over a quarter ounce, or just under a third of an ounce, however you want to look at that. But this is fantastic stuff. Now, the other thing, you could put these in a general category of just foreign junk silver. Foreign junk silver. I want to show you, like, here's a really cool one that I picked up today from the LCS, from Liberia. This is a 1974 Liberian $5 coin with this amazing looking elephant on it. And this has 1 ounce of silver, but the coin itself is 90% silver. So this is a fantastic option. Fantastic option. Typically, foreign junk silver can vary widely, and it depends on where you're at. If you're in Louisiana, Canadian junk silver may not be easy to find, but look, if you're in Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin, Montana, Idaho, Washington State, any border state, any state that borders the Canadian border, you should really be looking into Canadian junk silver. It's the foundation of my stack, and I think everybody should have just a pile of it. If you know me at all and you watch this channel for more than 5 minutes, then you know what the #1 stacking choice for the silver stacker should be, and that is numismatics. Numismatics. I don't care how you stack them, just stack them. And why do I believe that a 1947 BU Walking Liberty half dollar is a better choice, in spite of the fact that this coin is probably worth around $45 to $55, and it is approximately, let me see here, 0.3575 ounces of silver? It's really simple, because the value in these doesn't come from the fact that it's silver, although that certainly doesn't hurt. It is because there is an absolute rarity. In other words, there's only so many of these and they ain't making any more of them. And there is also a conditional rarity. In other words, the total number of minted, and then how many are there in this condition. You know, that is what is going to determine the value of your coins. So this is kind of my mishmash book of numismatics that I've collected over time. And there's a lot of different things in here, but I have a more focused collection as well. And in fact, I'm adding to this tonight. I'm adding to this, actually, maybe even right now, as a matter of fact, because I just cracked open some proof sets, or mint sets, and I got the 1959 P&D proof sets that I need to add to this tonight. So, you know, these things all have a certain rarity to them that is completely on the basis that they aren't making more of them. For example, this 1959 Benjamin Franklin half dollar right here, 1,149,291 ever minted. And then how many exist in this condition? Well, you can look at PCGS and NGC to look at what probably is a MS65 or a Proof 65 half dollar, what that's worth. So, and there's a lot of ways you can do this. I like to crack open mint sets. And again, it doesn't have to be silver. I have Sacagawea and Native American dollars. I have the presidential dollars. I have pennies. I have nickels. And the thing is that the reason this is such a great idea, you guys, is simple. It's really simple. You want to get out of the manipulation in the silver market? This is how you do it. This is how you do it, because the only thing that drives the price of numismatic coins is supply and demand. What is the person across the table from you willing to pay for it? Now, sure, there's gray sheets, there's price guides, there's the red book, there's eBay's sold listings to check your comps, but there is no manipulation, there's no COMEX, there's no LBMA, there is only two people making a transaction without any interference from any central governing authority. So there's a lot of ways to do it, guys. Find coins that you like and just start collecting them. Just start collecting them. I have what would probably be called a kind of a beginner collection, cracking open proof sets, most of them moderns, but you know, at the same time, these are all silver. These are all silver. All of these America the Beautiful quarters, they're all 0.1787 ounces of silver, so they will never be worth less than that. And for that reason, numismatics are my top choice for you, dear silver stacker. So do yourself a favor, ditch the Eagles, ditch the Maple Leaves, ditch American junk silver, as much as it pains me to say it. Get to numismatics, y'all. Get to numismatics. With that, I'm out. Thanks for watching. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, then I hope that today is the day that I earn your subscription.